you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am very good.
Look at that hair.
I know, right?
It looks good.
So long.
Yeah. Oh, hello, doggy.
This is
Who is
Angel.
Angel? How old is Angel?
Angel is 13. I know.
13?
13. She's going to be 14 this December.
Oh my God, that's a pretty good age for a little dog like that. Because I had a Yorkie. He did well. He lasted for 10. 13 is that's crazy. That's good. That's
She's
really
such
really
a
good.
good girl.
Oh my
Say hi,
God, she's so
Muffin.
cute. Look at those eyes.
She looks so young, too.
That's why when you said 13, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So how are you? How are you doing in the upside down world?
I'm fine. I'm good. It's crazy. My house is it's under like construction right now.
Hmm.
And all that while like pandemic is happening and like it's just been crazy. But lots of cooking is happening over here. Lots of watching reality shows together with my mom and my sister. It's been interesting. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're in our apartment in, little LA and just variety. We're working. Variety is just, it's been nonstop,
Yeah.
which has been great. My dogs are barking now. Of course, as soon as I start a Zoom, the dogs bark. And yeah, it's just kind of been nonstop working from home. I went to the office yesterday for the first time since lockdown. And it was just so creepy. Like I go to my desk, it was like I have a jacket hanging there with a bow tie, like waiting for me to go somewhere. And I'm
Oh
like, this is
no.
so ghost town like.
It is so weird.
Kissing booth too.
The kissing booth is open for business! Again!
It's really sweet and fun. And when you signed up for the first movie, did you sign up for one and two all at the same time, or did you wait to see how one did?
Well, the first movie actually, like, it was kind of just like this beautiful little surprise. Like the first movie,
Hmm.
it was in Netflix's independent department, and they weren't like expecting too much out of it. They were like, "Go make this movie, have fun, and like give us a movie afterwards." And so when the first trailer released, and it started tracking so well and just gathered so many views, we were like, "What's happening?" So we only signed on for one movie. And then the fan reaction was absolutely incredible. So then when they asked us to do the second one, it was just like a no-brainer. We were all going on to other projects and we were working on different things. I had just finished the act. But when the fan reaction was that strong and it made us feel so loved, it was like, why wouldn't we come back and give the fans just like another boost of love? Because it was just so fun.
Is it so strange though? Like in the kissing booth scene, I'm like, people kissing. It's weird during watching it during this pandemic. We're not supposed to. It was just took on a different level that obviously no one would expect.
I know. It's crazy because like you watch it and you're like, oh, look how close and loving to each other everyone is. And you're like, oh my God, when's the next time we're all going to be able to hug each other? Like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Well, if there's a kissing booth 3, can there be a kissing booth 3? Because you can't kiss.
Can
What would
people
you
even
call it?
kiss? I don't know.
Definitely not just random people from school, I would
Yeah.
think.
But it's weird. It's like a world in which, I'm one of those people that was like, if someone was like, oh, can I have a sip or can I have a bite? I'm like, go for it. I'm not a germaphobe. And now I'm like,
Me too.
I am now a germaphobe.
I know. It's really it's strange. It's like 1 minute I'll be okay and we'll get takeout food and I'm like, okay, and then next minute I'm like, should we even be taking takeout food? Like it's just every day it's a new thing.
It's hard. It's like where do you draw your own line for like humanity versus
Yeah.
like just being like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
do I want to get takeout food? You're like, I want to support small businesses and I also want to give
Right.
myself sanity by like, I don't know, having some normalcy. It's tough.
Right. And you were in a movie called Quarantine.
Yes, I was.
So are you having flashbacks to the movie right now? I mean,
So crazy. It was like one of my earlier movies. I was 7 years old when I made that movie, and it was a little scarier. It was more about like zombie like quarantine, like apocalypse kind of thing. But it wasn't really an apocalypse. It was taking place in this one little hotel. And what my favorite part about that movie was I played a young girl who got infected and like bit a bunch of people. It was crazy. It was insane. But it is insane to me. Like being in a movie called Quarantine during this time, I have so many people texting me being like, I didn't know you were in this movie. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like really, really young, but it's so cool.
I know. I'm going through your credits and I'm like, oh my God, she's in a movie called Quarantine.
It's too perfect, right?
And a lot of people think we are in the apocalypse and that, we are going to turn into zombies. So there's always that fear.
Oh, I don't like to think about those things. It scares me. It scares me a lot.
So why do you think Kissing Booth resonated so much? Why do you think it was such a hit?
I think for me, like the way I view it is there's so many incredible, there's so much incredible content out there where there's movies or TV shows that have such deep subject matter, even if it's funny or even if I think that people were kind of craving like that classic John Hughes, just feel good movie. And there hasn't been a lot of that. And I think when The Kissing Booth came out, it just ticked all those boxes of that just feel good, summery vibes. And I think our characters, the way they were written, they talk like real people, like my character, Elle, she's not, the outcast or the popular girl. She's just a girl that goes to school and has some friends, has a best friend. And I think what resonates so much about her is that she's just your every girl. And, it's nice to be able to see somebody that reminds you of yourself. And I think that's why my character resonated with people. And I think the whole movie was just like, it's just pure fun to watch. Yes. And so the second one, can I even say this? And I do mean this. It's honestly like, I love the first movie, but it's better than the first movie. Like, and I know that that's crazy to say about a sequel because that's not often what you hear, but it's true.
Why do you say that?
Something about it. I think that like the spirit of like all of us knew what we were coming back into and like that it had already done so well. And all of us already knew each other. We're friends with each other. And so the energy of us being back together just like exudes on camera. We all just are so happy to be with one another, but also the story and the way we had a little bit bigger of a budget this time. Thank you, Netflix. We got to do more cool stuff and it looks so good. And I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled with it.
Is there a part of you that it's almost like, haha, you critics, because critics, it wasn't their favorite movie in the world. But is there a disconnect between what viewers want and what critics think are good movies?
For sure. I understand that critics weren't like all over this movie, but that's the thing. It's not meant for like, it's not like meant for critics to be like, wow, what a movie. You know what I mean? It's meant for people to watch and have a great time. And what audiences want a lot of the time is to have a great time. And I'm thankful that I got to do something like The Act too, where like critics were like, oh, that's awesome. But also like not everything you do has to be a critical acclaim. Doesn't mean it's not successful, and it doesn't mean it's not one of my favorite projects I've absolutely worked on ever. And just like the fan reaction to it, it's like that is all the criticism I need as far as just like, the way it fills my heart. It's so beautiful and exciting to see how people respond to it. So, I appreciate critics very much so, but this movie, it's not for you, and I'm sorry about it, but it's a great movie. I don't do it so that every single time I work, I'm just going to be like praised beyond praise by critics. I do it because I want to work on the things that make me happy, and working on things that are super serious and that are super dramatic make me so happy. And working on things like The Kissing Booth also makes me so happy. So I feel very fortunate that I am given the opportunity as an actor to be able to do all of the above.
So in Kissing Booth 2, we're not going to give too many spoilers away, but another boy is involved, a new boy at the school, who Elle is fond of. So are you more Team Noah or Team Marka?
Ooh, that is such a good question. And I am so excited for those hashtags to be thrown around when the movie comes out. I don't want to say what team I'm on, but I just I just keep dropping hints every now and then on my Instagram and little Easter eggs in my interviews. Just like, I'm team whatever, but I'm excited for people to see the outcome of 2 and kind of just have their own opinions on it. Because I mean, Team Noah, Team Marco, both are great, and I'm excited to hear it. It's kind of like that Edward and what's his name?
Edward and wait,
Jacob.
It was Bella. Jacob, yes,
Jacob, Edward and Jacob.
Yes.
I'm excited for people to have those conversations, just like I had those conversations when that movie came out.
When you were younger, were you Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I was Team Edward.
What? I love how you say that like you're not sure if you should be saying that.
I
Why
don't
Edward?
know. I was Team Edward. I always was like, Robert Pattinson, oh my God.
You were one of those. You were a twihard.
I was.
Obviously, you had to go back to work with someone who is a work relationship, became a private relationship, back to a work relationship. How is that? How do you do that?
It's everyone's favorite question. But just it was what it was. It was work. We had to get through it together. But I think that for me, my love for the project was I would do anything to play Elle Evans again. And so being able to come back as her, your Elle always needs her Noah. So, I mean, I was very excited to be able to jump back in the saddle with Jacob and hop in those roles because, they have a huge impact on our lives personally. And for better or for worse, I don't regret anything that happened ever. And so I'm really happy that I got to share that experience with not only him, but the whole cast. So it worked out great.
And listen, you're a fan of Twilight. It happened during Twilight also.
Just so funny. My life is a parallel.
It's a Twilight. Kissing Booth 3?
I don't know.
What do you do know, but I know you can't say. What do you want to do?
I mean, I love Elle and I want to be her always. So I would love a 3, but I'm excited to see what people say about 2 first, and then we'll see what happens.
And what I love also about Kissing Booth, as popcorny and fluffy and rom-com as it is, I love the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great storyline in number 2, a queer storyline, and it's amazing. And I will tell you that I got emotional at one point.
Me too.
Because, my producers hear me talk about this all the time. There just seem to be all these projects right now with gay couples, gay, romance. And for me as a gay guy, I didn't have that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And all I do is think about, the kid who is watching Kissing Booth 2 and going, oh my God, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And my favorite thing about that specific storyline is that just how I was saying, Elle Evans isn't the popular girl or the outcast. She's just a girl. All the friends of those 2 characters are just they're just dudes and they're just happy for their friends no matter what. And there doesn't have to be this crazy blow up thing, dramatic storyline of despair. It's no, this is okay. And the more it's normalized on camera, the more I think that people in actual schools will be more open and accepting. And, I just hope that our movie does inspire people in that way. And whenever I watch it too, I've watched it a couple times now, I cheer in my, on my couch. I go, oh, like that literally every time. It just makes me so happy.
What was your favorite day on set?
My favorite day? Oh my God. Ooh, that's tough. Am I being funny about it or am I being serious about it?
Whatever you want.
Let me think about it. One day, the day that was super fun was a field day, which was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was such a fun, it was a very stressful day. We shot that entire thing one day. We had that whole thing in one day. It was so much fun though. It was so much fun.
Are you athletic? Because that field day, there was some athleticism.
I'm a selective athletic person. If I know, for the Kissing Booth, I had to, be athletic, wear tiny outfits a lot, all that stuff. So I was like, I am an athlete for these couple of months. And then when I get home, I sit on my ass and I do nothing. So, I'm like an athlete when I want to be.
And you got to roll around in mud.
I know, I love that. I love getting dirty and I love like doing gross stuff. It's so fun.
So tell us about the Marco character.
Marco is played by Taylor Zakar Perez. He's my favorite. We had so much fun shooting together.
He's so ugly.
He's so ugly. But yeah, I mean, like the minute I met him, I like read him at a chemistry read, and I was like, who's that? He's amazing. And we just had so much fun together on set. So Marco is this guy who transferred in senior year of high school, and he and Elle meet, and at first there's like some friction and tension. Elle thinks he's a hottie, as does every single person in the school, and they build this unlikely.
And the whole school knows that Elle thinks he's a hottie.
And the whole school knows that Elle thinks he's a hottie.
We'll just leave it like that. That's a tease.
Exactly. And then they kind of form this unlikely friendship, and he actually winds up being a huge help to her and something that she's at a little bit of a crossroads with. And so he becomes like a huge ally for her. And, when someone who is just like as supportive as him, as giving as him to a character like Elle, sometimes, feelings develop, sometimes things happen, and he just becomes this like pillar of strength for her. And it's just like really interesting to see their relationship develop, and the way, Noah's relationship with other people at school develop too. It's just like two lives are being lived, yet they're also being lived together. Because Noah and Elle are still, in a storyline together. So it's really, really interesting to see where those relationships go. And and Taylor's the best. So
So let's talk about life after the act. How did your life change? How did the meetings change for you? The scripts, I'm sure, were different that came your way. Tell me a little bit about that.
Man, what an amazing ride. I was actually on set of The Kissing Booth when I found out about the nomination for the Emmys. It was just like that whole project. It was, and I've said this before. It's like everything about it was perfect. The fact that like I got to work on a show that I was proud of. I had the most incredible time making it, and then I also got nominated. Like, it's amazing. Like a lot of the time, people who get nominated for something like, oh yeah, that was a horrible shoot. It's so tough. Like I had all these factors that made it the most perfect experience in the world. I'm so close with Patricia now, Anna Sophia, like everyone involved. I'm so close with all of them. It's just like my life changed so much after it too. Like you were saying, after that, I signed a first look deal with Hulu, which was very, very exciting for me. And I've been able to be a little bit more picky, which I'm super appreciative of, because, actors oftentimes don't get the opportunity to work on the projects that they really want to work on, because they're just trying to like make sure that they keep, working, keep going. And I've been so fortunate to be able to have a role like that, and also be able to go back to something that's completely 180 into something like Kissing Booth, and just, be a little bit more like decisive about what I want to do next, and the scripts that I want to read and the things I see come across my desk. But my life has become so much grander since doing the act, and it blows my mind every day that I got to be part of it, honestly.
So the first look deal with Hulu, what are the project? What's your dream project that you're waiting for that script to come across your desk?
For me, it was, every role that I take, it's like, in a way, it is like a dream project, because in that moment, I immerse myself so deeply in each character that I do, it becomes that dream role. I would definitely say Gypsy was a dream job, but also I can't wait for the next dream job, because I don't plan on having my career end anytime soon. I plan on working very, very long time. I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. I plan on working a long, long time. And so I hope that I have many, many dream roles come across my desk, and that I get to fulfill all of them.
Do you want to direct?
One day, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because I've been in front of the camera for so many years, and in doing that, I've learned so much about each job around me. everyone on the crew, everyone behind the scenes, and I'm now producing myself as well. So I'm learning about that aspect of the world. I like to know the inner workings of what's going on around me. I like to really know about it and educate myself in it. I don't want to just show up on a set and be like, oh, I don't really know what's going on here, but I know what I'm doing. So the idea of being able to learn as much as I can about the things around me and then maybe get in the saddle of, orchestrating it all, that sounds very exciting. But I want to craft my vision a little bit more before I even consider doing something like that, get more experience, even just watching things. Because I think with me and with a lot of people, I've got one of those brains that kind of goes all over the place and is just excited by so many things. Like my brain's like, ooh, shiny. So I know that if I directed something right now, I would try to incorporate all my favorite styles into one piece, and that just wouldn't work. So I have to kind of decide on like what my vision is, what my style would be, and how to incorporate that and make it harmonious.
And you're only 20, right?
Yes.
So you've been doing this for like you said, you were talking about quarantine. You were 7 when you did it. How tough has your skin become? Because you're out there. There are critics. There are probably, I'm sure, there are auditions you went on that you wanted that you didn't get. How, as such a young person, to deal with that spotlight? How does your skin get tough, and how did you know the moment where it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna let it bother me anymore?
I mean, I've just had. It's come to this point, like, yeah, my skin is pretty tough now. Like, I've been given some pretty shocking feedback in my life, and also, had people write some very interesting things about me on the internet. But it kind of just comes from like me, like, especially with getting jobs, like it comes from like me just kind of being like, I'm not going to get my hopes up about anything until I am literally on that set, until I am making the show or the movie, because so many, I've had jobs where I've actually flown out to the location that fell apart like the day before we started shooting. It's like, it's insane.
What?
I mean, things happen. The craziest things happen in
Wow.
this industry. And so I do let myself get super excited. Sometimes it like gets me in trouble because then I get my heart broken. But you have to have that balance, kind of like we were saying earlier, like humanity versus like whatever else, like having too thick of a skin. So I definitely have a thick skin, but I also like, I get so excited and I get so bummed still. I've even recently, like in recent years, I've cried over jobs and losing them. It's
Right.
tough.
Mm.
But also like my mom always raised me with the mentality of like, who gives a crap? Like, you know what I mean? Like if they don't, she always told me, she's like, if you don't get a job, it's honestly probably nothing personal. She's like, it's probably, maybe you remind them of a niece they don't like. And I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. But no, she's always been like very supportive in the way of like, she's like, pick yourself back up. Like you're going to be okay. And when it also comes to, I think that's something that's been more of a recent thing that I have that's newer for me since my name has become a little bit more of a household name, is the stuff that people say to me online, and they just like, I don't know, they don't really, I guess, think that maybe I see it, but I do. But
Right.
my sisters and my mom and everyone's been very much like, who cares? So it's been really nice to have them, because like that's kind of newer. I mean, I've had it a little bit over the years, especially when I shaved my head for the first time when I was 11. That was crazy. I was like, what's going on? Why do people hate me? But now I feel like I have a lot tougher of a skin for that kind of stuff too. Because people will just say the craziest things. At this point, I'm like, wow, that was just creative. Wow.
So you said you've been watching reality shows. What are your favorites?
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this new show called Say I Do on Netflix. Oh my
So
God.
which one is Say I Do?
It's about, okay, it's these 3 guys, they call themselves the Gangels, Gayngels, because they're gay angels. And they
yes, I know what it is. Yes.
they put on these dream weddings for these people who like have the most incredibly inspiring, heartbreaking, beautiful love stories, and I love it so much. I cry every episode. Honestly, like speaking truthfully, I'm not really a crier. I don't cry very much when I watch stuff. This is like the greatest show. I'm obsessed with it. I'm also watching The Floor is Lava. Love that
The
show.
Floor is Lava. Okay, could we just talk though? Okay. Why don't we get to see the people when they go in the lava?
I wanted, like, it looks like
What?
they
They
died or
just gone.
You're like, what happened to them?
And I want to see them covered in whatever that Jello juice is.
I know.
It's
and
driving.
also, the Floor is Lava producers won't reveal the secret ingredients of the lava.
Right. And why does everyone jump on that stupid pyramid? Do they have to? Because no person in their right mind would. It makes no sense to go onto that pyramid thing.
No, it
for
makes
anything.
none at all. And like no one makes it off the pyramid usually.
No.
It's like slippery and it's weird and it's like, why don't you just crawl on the, I don't know, the building or the little painting bridge? Like just do anything but the pyramid. And on 90 Day Fiance, of course,
Oh, you're a 90 Day Fiance. My husband's a big 90 Day Fiance.
I'm actually a couple seasons behind because I like binged like from the very beginning, like so many seasons at once. And I was like, I need to take a break. And then everyone was like, oh, have you seen the new season? I was like, no, but I've seen the last like 4.
Joey, thank you so much. It's always good seeing you. Congratulations on Kissing Booth 2. I'm sure there's going to be a 3. I know you can't say that. And just stay safe, be well, and hopefully I'll see you in person sooner than later.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
Same here. Take care, Joey. Bye.
Bye.